weight, if you want to get healthy, this is where a video you definitely want to watch. So let me just hit live on YouTube. We're going to be discussing on today's video 3 strategies for fasting for serious fat loss. If you're somebody who has been struggling with your weight, this is going to make all the difference for you. I can't wait to reveal these strategies for you. Before I do, I want to just say hello. My name is Ben Azadi. I am the best-selling author of 3 books. I am the founder of Keto Camp. Here at Keto Camp, we are on a mission to educate and to inspire 1 billion people on planet Earth to get this information out to you. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, I am live with you here on the Keto Camp show, just like today. So if you're on the live stream, let me know in the chat box, or even if you're watching the replay, let me know right now where you are tuning in from. Where in this beautiful world are you? I'm here in beautiful Miami Beach, Florida. So without further ado, let's get down to the nitty gritty on how to apply fasting for serious weight loss. Number 1, let's understand this. Here is the overview. Here's what we're going to cover. How fasting could help you burn fat. You're going to learn that. Why it is important to mix up your fasting schedule. I'm going to share my 3 favorite fasting schedules for you to kind of mix and match. Fasting biohacks for calming inflammation. If you want to burn fat, it's all about inflammation. It's not about calories in versus calories out. How to know if your fasting schedule is working for you. I'm going to give you some strategies to test. 5 tips for making your fast easier so you feel like a rock star during your fasting window. And then how to break your fast without gaining weight. I'm going to talk about the worst ways to break a fast versus the best ways to break a fast. So grab a pen and paper. You're going to love these fasting nuggets I will share with you. Now, how does fasting help you burn excessive body fat? Let's get into that. I want to break this all down for you. So think of your fat stores. Actually, this is the wrong slide. Think of your sugar reserves, not your fat stores. It shouldn't say fat stores. Think of your sugar reserves as your refrigerator. So let me just share this real quick. We eat food, and the body turns these food macros, especially carbohydrates and especially protein, into strings of sugar in the body that are called glycogen stores. They are your sugar reserves. Think of that as a refrigerator. The benefit of using your sugar reserves is, in your refrigerator, it's easy access. You just walk to your kitchen, open up the fridge, grab some groceries, put groceries back in. That's the benefit. The drawback is that there's limited storage capacity in your refrigerator, especially with your sugar reserves. Your body only stores about 2,000 calories worth of sugar reserves. Anything else is stored as body fat. So I want you to think of your body fat as your freezer. Okay, you have more storage capacity, but if you store too much body fat, you're going to need to get additional freezers, 1 freezer, 2 freezer, 3, 4, etc. Now, what fasting does, fasting allows you to burn through your sugar reserves, so then you could access your freezer. You have all this stored fat on your body. Fasting is one of the best ways to access it and start burning it for fuel. You see, that's the way we were designed to live. When you think about our ancestors, every single one of our ancestors, guess what? They practiced fasting. Fasting is not new. It's not a fad. It's not a trend. It's a fact. Although it's not new, it's just a little bit more nuanced. So what we want to do is tap into this, because I don't know if you knew this, but inside your body right now, there is this inner physician that's called the innate intelligence. And this innate intelligence is the world's greatest physician, the world's greatest healer, and your body is designed to heal. There are 3 principles to healing. Number 1, identify interference. I hope you're writing this down. Number 2, remove interference. And number 3, allow your body to heal. One of the best ways to remove interference and activate this innate intelligence is with fasting. But if you're not practicing fasting, it leads to faster aging. You're going to age faster. It leads to disease. It leads to digestive issues. So here's an analogy for you. When you look at your body fat, it's kind of like this gas tank truck. You know, if you've seen these trucks in the highway, let me know. Type in gas tank in the chat box down below. So you see all these trucks all the time. They are carrying gas on their truck, these big loads, and they're delivering it to gas stations so people could go into the gas stations and refill their car with gas. When you're not able to access your fat stores, here's the problem. It's like this gas tank that you see, this truck that's carrying all this gas on top of it, running out of gas on the highway, pulling over because it actually doesn't have gas anymore to run on its fuel. So here's the problem. It has all this gas on top of it, but it can't access it. Your body is the same way. You have all this fat stores, but we're not able to access it. It sounds kind of silly, right? So what we want to do, we want to use fasting and fasting strategies to get access to your fat stores. So here's how we're going to do it. This is the first method for you. Thank you, Alicia. I see your comment. Here's the first schedule I'd like for you to follow. This is especially good if you're a beginner. Follow an 18-6 intermittent fasting schedule. I like this. You're able to get some good fat loss, a little bit of some autophagy. I'm going to talk about autophagy later. How this works is out of a 24-hour period, 18 hours out of the 24 hours, you're going to be in the fasted state, meaning you're just going to have water and sea salt. It is important to have your sea salt and electrolytes, but for 18 hours, you're not raising glucose, you're not raising insulin. Insulin is the only fat storage hormone that we have inside the body. That's insane. There's over 600 hormones in the body, but only one store fat, and that is insulin. When you are fasting, your body keeps insulin low. Insulin is the bully of the block. When he's around, all your fat-burning hormones, they're scattered, they're gone, they are bye-bye. So with fasting, you're able to keep insulin down and go from being in a fed state to be in a lean, fasted state where you're actually able to tap into your fat stores. And something else that happens is your body starts increasing counter-regulatory hormones. These are hormones that run counter to insulin. So when insulin is down, these go up. They include cortisol, glucagon, epinephrine, human growth hormone. Now, human growth hormone is a powerful fat-burning hormone. It's also anti-aging, muscle-preserving, muscle-building. There was a study that showed during a 24-hour fast, there was a 1,300% increase in human growth hormone with women and a 2,000% increase in human growth hormone in men. You know what's happening here is your body thinks you're going through a famish. It doesn't care about Uber Eats. It doesn't care about Whole Foods supermarket. This process happens because we are hardwired for the old school. All 70 trillion cells in your body are designed to go during periods of time of famine and feasting. So famine equals fasting. So what happens is your body's literally pumping you full of energy, helping your metabolism become more efficient so you're able to stay focused and alert so you could go out there and hunt and kill and capture your next meal. But if you're living in a first world country like I do, you're blessed to not have to do that. So we could use all that just to feel good, to feel like a rock star. I can tell you this, when I'm in a fasted state, I feel at a peak state. I am most productive, mentally clear, mentally sharp, and I'm burning some body fat. It's all a plus. That is the innate intelligence that is taking care of work for you. You don't have to think about it. So you do this for 18 hours out of a 24-hour period. During your 6 hours, you have 2 meals. Ideally, we want those meals to be insulin-friendly meals, aka ketogenic meals. It doesn't have to be. The cool thing about fasting is that you could apply fasting strategies to any dietary philosophy and nutritional philosophy you follow, but it works best with keto. So you have 2 meals within a 6-hour eating window. That would look like 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., 2 meals. The pancreas is only designed to produce insulin about twice per day. You don't want to snack in between those meals. You want to make sure we're keeping insulin low outside of that 6-hour eating window. That's the first strategy. The second strategy is a 24-hour fast, which is called an OMAD diet, 1 meal a day diet, OMAD. I like this. I like for you to throw this in at least once per week. Here's why I love an OMAD, 1 meal a day. And how it would work, first of all, is you would go dinner to dinner, right? Or lunch to lunch, or breakfast to breakfast, and just have water and sea salt. You're going to get more fat loss, more of this autophagy, cellular repair and cleanup, and you're going to actually do something else that's super cool. I just wrote about this in my book, Keto Flex. You're able to reset your gut because it's been proven that a 24-hour fast, this is MIT research. I put a study in the YouTube notes. MIT research shows a 24-hour fast strengthens intestinal stem cells. So I'm going to share this study with you here where I put it in my book. So let me grab the study for you right now. Here you go. So you can see fasting boosts stem cells regenerative capacity. And in mice, this is a mice study, so keep that in mind, but it says, quote, fasting has many effects in the intestine, which includes boosting regeneration as well as potential use in any type of ailment that impinges on the intestine, such as infections or cancers. Says MIT professor of biology. So what we want to do is understanding, so it also says understanding how fasting improves overall health includes the role of adult stem cells in intestinal regeneration, in repair and aging, and in fundamental interest in my laboratory. So what this means is when your body is cleaning out house, it will start cleaning out your cells. And if a cell is not functioning well, it could be an intestinal cell. If it's not functioning well, it's what's called a senescent cell, aka a zombie cell. The body signals apoptosis to actually get rid of that cell altogether, and then it produces a new cell called a stem cell. And during 24 hours, you're able to get a lot of this healing in the gut. This is important because a lot of people struggle with digestive issues, gas, bloating, acid reflux, indigestion. A lot of people have leaky gut and autoimmune disease. A lot of people have a weakened immune system, and we know that most of your immune system and a lot of your healing begins with the gut. When you are not practicing fasting, here's the problem. We are creating a backlog of food in your digestive system. When I interviewed Dr. Zach Bush last year on the Keto Camp podcast and Keto Camp YouTube channel, he shared an interesting study from the University of Virginia. And what they were doing, they wanted to track how long it took to digest food. Not even completely digest it, but for the food to enter the small intestine right before it gets fully digested and out the colon. And they took these college students from the University of Virginia. Now keep in mind, college students, the younger you are, the better and faster your digestion in general. And they gave these college students 800 calories of a standard American meal, which was pizza from Mellow Mushroom Pizza, and they tracked how long it took to enter the small intestines. Guess how long it took? 14 hours. That means if you're not at least fasting for 14 to 18 hours per day, you're creating this backlog in your digestive system, which increases inflammation, and it prevents you from losing fat, because inflammation is what it's about, specifically cellular membrane inflammation. When you have inflammation around your cells, your fat-burning hormones can't get in. So fasting down-regulates inflammation, especially a 24-hour fast, heals the gut, and now you're able to burn fat. You see how all of this ties together? So what we want to do is practice a weekly, at least once per week. Now, if you have extra body fat, you could do more than one per week, but you want to do this on a weekly basis, at least once per week, going dinner to dinner, having only fat. The next tip is to complete a 72-hour water fast. This is a 3-day water fast. Now, this is more an advanced strategy. We would start first with the 18-6, build your fasting muscle up to a 24-hour fast, and then eventually complete a 72-hour fast. Here's why I love a 72-hour fast. Think of, this is what's happening in your body during a longer fast. A process is taking place in your body during a longer fast called autophagy. I want you to picture, the analogy I'm going to give you for autophagy is this house you see here in front of you on this screen. This is a house that has been beat up. There has been fires inside of this house. This house needs to be destroyed or needs to be remodeled. I mentioned earlier, when you are fasting, you harness the power of your innate intelligence. I can't tell you how incredible your body is right now. You are a masterpiece because you are a piece of the master. We want to activate this amazing process called the innate intelligence. And one of the best ways to do it is with a longer fast, because you activate autophagy. Some of you have heard about that word autophagy before. The Greek definition for autophagy is eat thyself. This is a process of your body activating this, think of Pac-Man, intracellular Pac-Man. The body is so smart, so sophisticated. When you're not eating food energy, guess what? It needs to get energy from somewhere. So it activates autophagy. Autophagy looks for damaged cells, expired proteins, and mitochondria, junk inside your body, kind of like this house. Think of 70 billion cells need to go through this process every single day. So think of 70 billion of these little houses, this house that you see kind of burned out and destroyed. And when you activate it through a 72-hour fast, it cleans it out, and then produces a healthier cell, which looks like this. That's what's happening in your body during a fast. Now, you get some autophagy around the 17, 18-hour mark. You get a little bit more around the 24-hour mark, but you're going to maximize this autophagy even more with the 3-day fast. Also, by the way, what's happening is your body is relying on its fat stores for fuel. So you're burning fat, you're cleaning out cells, your body is regenerating, your cells are regenerating, and all this is happening without you even thinking about it. You're going on along with your day, you're crushing your activities, and you have this innate intelligence working for you 24/7. How amazing is that? There is no pill, there is no surgery, there is no shot, there is no supplement that could replace what you have within you right now, and that is your innate intelligence. So, how do you know if your fasting schedule is working for you? Let's unpack that a little bit. It's important to apply these tools and knowing how these tools work, because more important than the tool itself is the person who wields that tool. I just gave you 3 strategies, 3 tools, if you will, that could get you amazing results, but you got to know how to use those tools. So here's how you know. I want you to all practice this, especially as you go towards a 24-hour fast and a 72-hour fast. I want you to check your blood glucose and your blood ketones if you can. And what we want to see during your fasting window, so you would test in the morning and then you would test it continuously throughout your fast. You want to see your glucose, your blood glucose, drop steadily during your fast and ketones rise. We don't want glucose to drop below 50. Those are American units. And we don't want ketones to go above 7 or so. But if you're seeing the right trend and it's staying within those markers, that fasting schedule is working for you. But if you're seeing the opposite, if you're seeing your glucose rise during a fast, ketones non-existent, that means there's too much stress right now. And fasting is just another stress. And you want to shorten your window, build up that fasting muscle back up, and then retry or redo it by extending your window again and retesting. That's how you know if your fasting schedule is working for you or not. Now, here are 3 tips to make your fast easier. There are actually 5 tips. I ended up adding 2 more. Number 1, build up your fasting muscle properly. If you're brand new to fasting, start with a 12-hour fast, meaning you finish eating at 7 p.m. at night, don't eat anything until 7 a.m., and then you can start pushing out your breakfast 1 hour each day. So build it up properly. You wouldn't be a couch potato for 10 years and go run a marathon tomorrow. It'll look ugly. You'll hurt yourself. Same thing. You don't want to be a sugar burner eating every 2 to 3 hours for so many years and then go into an 18-hour fast. Not going to look good. Start with 12 hours, build your way up to 18, and then you can move on to the 24-hour, 72-hour strategies that we spoke about. Number 2 is to break your fast the right way. Yes, there is a way to break your fast without gaining weight, and then there's a way to break your fast that causes weight gain. So here's what you want to do. The worst way to break a fast, let's start with that, is with a combination of carbohydrates and fat. Here's the reason why. When you're breaking a fast, your hormones are going to be more sensitive. We want sensitive hormones. That's a good thing. One of those hormones that's going to be sensitive is insulin. I already mentioned insulin a little bit earlier. So when you eat carbohydrates to break a fast, you're going to spike glucose in the bloodstream. The body is going to say, yo, pancreas, hey, beta cells in the pancreas, let's get the insulin troops to grab that blood sugar out of the bloodstream and start delivering it to your cells, unlock your cell doors, and then it'll regulate your glucose levels. Sounds great. It'll work good. But if you have fat with that meal, fat goes along for the ride and it could slow down your fat loss progress. So we do not want to break a fast with fat and carbohydrates. That would be like a cheesecake. That would be avocado, toast, not good. The best way to break a fast is with mostly protein and some fat, because you're not going to get that glucose spike. You're not going to get that slowing down of the fat loss. You actually could continue with your fat loss benefits. So that would be bone broth is a great way to break a fast. A keto smoothie is a great way to break, a protein shake is a great way to break a fast. Some grass-fed steak with some green leafy vegetables, great way to break fast. Eggs with avocado, green leafy vegetables, great way to break a fast. So we want to make sure we break it the right way. Before I get on to the next tips here, I want to let you know that I'm going to be answering your questions towards the end of this. So if you're on the live stream, make sure you save your questions. I'll post, and then I'll answer as many as possible towards the end. If you're getting any value so far on YouTube and Facebook, please hit the thumbs up button so the algorithm knows that you're enjoying this. And if you're brand new to the Keto Camp YouTube channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button down below. hit the bell so you're notified when we go live or release a new video. We go live, by the way, on here every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We haven't missed a single Wednesday in almost 2 years. We're committed to getting this information to you, the science to you, so you understand it, you apply it, you get amazing results, and then you share it with your community. Tip number 3 is before you complete the longer fast that we spoke about, the 24 hours and the 72 hours, eat more proteins and fat. We want to make sure we're regulating glucose. So more of a keto-friendly nutritional plan you'll do much better because you want to regulate your blood sugars before you go into more of those longer fasts. So have more proteins, healthy proteins, have more fats. If you want to get an idea of what to eat, I have my Keto Camp blueprint. Alina, who's part of the Keto Camp team, if you could put it in the chat box, ketocampblueprint.com. Camp is spelled, where am I pointing? Camp is spelled with a K. Keep that in mind. So ketocampblueprint.com. Fourth tip is to understand how hunger works in the body. A lot of the times I've noticed people do fasting and their hunger gets the best of them. So here's what we want to really understand. Here's what I really hope you understand about hunger. Hunger is a hormone. The hormone is called ghrelin. I call ghrelin a gremlin because when a gremlin is around, nobody likes it. Makes a lot of noise. We want it to go away. Same thing when you're hungry. Ghrelin is activated, your hormone, and you have hunger pangs. It's not fun to be around. You want it to go away. But all hormones, including ghrelin, are pulsatile, meaning they spike up, they go back down. They spike up, they go back down. So if you could simply just ride that hunger wave, keep yourself busy, go for a walk, go for a workout, do something to distract yourself, 5 to 10 to 15 minutes later, the hormone will spike back down and you could overcome the hunger. That's an important tip for you to understand. So don't let hunger get the best of you. It's actually healthy and perfectly normal to experience ghrelin. Ghrelin can act as an antioxidant, by the way. Fifth tip here is to add sea salt and fast tonic to your fasting regimen. So let me break that down. Sea salt is so important. When you are fasting, you're going to get this electrolyte dumping from the kidneys. And if you don't replenish, you could get a headache during a fast, you could get brain fog, you could get something like the keto flu. So always have sea salt, have an electrolyte drink, minerals during your fast. So as you lose electrolytes, you get it right back. So I like Redmond's Real Salt. I use them. I also use their electrolyte powder called Relight, but you could get any brand that does a good job. And then Fast Tonic is molecular hydrogen tablets. That molecular hydrogen is a selective antioxidant, meaning it could actually help you with autophagy. It could help you feel better during a fast. So you just drink that with water, let it dissolve. I put a link on the YouTube channel here. Maybe Alina could post it as well for the Fast Tonic supplement that I use. That's not a requirement. That's just an additional hack if you want to throw it into the mix. But I do recommend for sure getting your sea salt and water during your fast. Here are some free resources for you before I open it up to question and answer. I have a best-selling book called The Intermittent Fasting Cheat Sheet. You can get it for free. You can get the digital download over at fastingcheatsheet.com or you could get the Audible download for free over at freefastingbook.com. So for those of you on Instagram who can't see the screen, it's fastingcheatsheet.com for a free digital download or freefastingbook.com for the Audible download. I'm the one who actually reads it on Audible for you. I'm also doing a keto masterclass soon where I'm going to talk about keto and fasting. These are free strategies, how to go flex in and out of ketosis, the difference between clean keto and dirty keto. I saw John Kelly asked about that. And then how to use intermittent fasting strategies to accelerate ketone production. This is a free masterclass. You could get signed up for it over at ketosismasterclass.com. I'm also giving away a lot of free gifts for those who attend the free webinar. And then lastly, before I open it up to question, I want you to shoot me a text message with the word fasting. So text me the word fasting to my phone number. My phone number is 786-364-5002. I send out weekly inspiration tips on keto, fasting, mindset. I also give you updates on live streams, etc. That's my actual phone number, 786-364-5002. Okay, so let's open it up to some question and answer. I really hope that was helpful so far. hit the thumbs up button if you got any value so far, and let's go to Q&A. I see Shannon in the house. Good to see you. Steven in the house. Hey, brother, in cold Montreal. We have Jane in Canada. We have Charlene in Africa, South Africa. Shannon's in Illinois. I knew that. David in London. Good to see you, David. Carolyn is in the Queen City. Good to see you, Carolyn. We have Mario in Malta. Hey, Mario in Malta. Thanks for joining me from there. Rachel in Canada. Erica, good to see a Keto Camp Academy member as well. Shannon and Erica from California. And then we have Ice in London. And then Sylvia in California. Okay, Karen says, I have been feeling lightheaded and dizzy and nauseous. How do I fix that? Okay, so for the lightheadedness and dizziness, electrolytes are your best friend. So increase your electrolytes, increase your minerals during your fast and during your eating window. And if you're feeling nauseous, taking some more bitters like apple cider vinegar right before you eat a meal could help with the bile production. It could help with the glycemic response. That could help as well. Fast tonic is a great supplement that could also help with nausea. You could go to ketocampsupplements.com to get the fast tonic one that I mentioned. Let's check YouTube. What questions do we have here? Soulfire Crystal Alley says, I have the electrolyte blend called Ultima, and I see an ingredient called potassium aspartate. Is this the same as potassium aspartame, as I don't want that in my body? That's a good question. I'm actually not 100% sure. I think it's a different ingredient. I actually like Ultima, so I would be inclined to think that that's the not the same ingredients there. Ultima makes a good one. I just don't personally use them. I use Relight from Redmond's. Judy, good to see you. How often should I be testing during a 24-hour fast? Good question. So for any of you who are going to take action with testing your glucose and ketones during a fast, I recommend testing your glucose in the morning and ketones first thing in the morning. So number one, and then every 3 hours after that. Every 3 hours after that could be a good idea. You want to see the right trend. Michelle in London, Bosie in India, Carol in Missouri. We have Scotland in the house. Margaret, good to see you. Redmond is the best. Good to see you, George. Hey, Cordy. Gloria says, should we apply the switching you taught us last week if our weight loss has slowed down, but not stopped? Yeah, it's always a good idea to mix up your fasting schedules. So if you've hit a plateau with fasting and you've been doing an 18-6, then move to a 24 hours. Throw in a couple 24 hours per week, and then maybe a 72-hour fast. If you do the same exercise in the gym over and over and over, you begin to plateau. So it's important to always mix up your fasting, always mix up your foods that you're eating. It's going to create an adaptation and a change, which could help with a weight loss plateau, a fat loss plateau. Would you recommend Bind for everyone who has no gallbladder? Bind is a great product, Cordy, but it's more for toxic related things. I would recommend a digestive enzyme with ox bile if you don't have a gallbladder, and then also increasing your bitters, ginger tea, dandelion greens, apple cider vinegar. That could be something you have before meals. Maybe some not Swedish bitters, digestive bitters. Moonshine makes a good one. What to do about bad breath during a fast? That could be a toxicity related issue. So there's a product called the Fasting Trio. You could take that to help with toxins. And maybe you could do some brushing on your tongue, on your mouth. That could help with bad breath during a fast, but it's usually a toxic related issue. Edna says, no matter what I do, I cannot lose weight. Will I still be getting the health benefits if the fats don't leave me? Great question, Edna. I always teach to my Keto Camp Academy members to not focus on weight loss, instead focus on health. Because we do not lose weight to get healthy. We get healthy to lose weight. You might have heard that from Dr. Berg. He's right. So keep focusing on reducing cellular inflammation. Focus on non-scale victories. Get your body fat percentage done. Maybe get some lab work done. Measure do some measurements. See how your clothes fit, how your confidence is, your sleep, and the weight will come off eventually as you get healthy. And I encourage you to get into the Keto Camp Academy, where I do a lot of coaching in there, and I have over 200 videos. It's a step-by-step keto system that you can't find any of those videos anywhere else. It's a complete system. I love the Academy. Shannon says, when you will release your next book? So it's almost done. Keto Flex will be out hopefully by the end of March, early April. I believe it's going to be the best book on keto ever written. I really outline my 4 pillars. I go into how the body works at the cellular level. So in about 30 days, Shannon should be out 30 to 45 days from right now. Ben, do you take Bind daily for toxins, or is this not necessary? I cycle on and off Bind. So maybe 3 days on, 4 days off. When you are taking it, increase your minerals because you could lose some more minerals with Bind. George says, my blood sugars are still high, even with fasting on carnivore. It takes a while to reverse insulin resistance, George. And I know you're an Academy member, so I know what you're doing. Just keep doing it. We're doing carnivore. I'm on day 3 of carnivore here with the Keto Camp Academy members. George is one of them. He's doing it as well. Just keep with it. Stick and stay. My brother, it's bound to pay. You can do this. Is there a gum that I could get on keto? I don't chew gum, but if you are going to use gum, just make sure it does not have the artificial sweeteners like sucralose and aspartame. Stevia is okay. Monk fruit is okay. And yeah, Judy's an Academy member. Good to see that she's on here as well. What's your best advice on switching from keto to a Mediterranean diet for maintenance? George, I think a Mediterranean diet could be very similar to ketosis. So my best advice would be to do it for a short period of time, 30 to 60 days, and then go back into ketosis. Or it could just be 2 days out of the week Mediterranean diet or a paleo approach. It's the adaptation and the change that will help you continue to get results. Exogenous ketones, says Monica. So exogenous ketones have their place. I'm not a big fan of relying on them. I'm not a big fan of taking them every single day. I personally don't take them that often or recommend them, but here's when I would recommend them. If somebody's doing keto for 3 weeks and they are failing to get into ketosis, they're struggling, then taking exogenous ketones for like 7 days or so could help prime that pump. I also like it there's some good research that it can help support those going through chemotherapy, but of course you would work with a doctor on that. It's good for when you go through radiation. So when you're about to get x-rays or go through an airport, that's a good time to have it. And then for like a brain hack, exogenous ketones could help, but we want to produce ketones endogenously. We want to allow the liver to do it. So I wouldn't rely on exogenous ketones. Erica, who's an Academy member, I've been doing OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. I break it with a standard keto meal, staying within my macros. I test my glucose and ketones are in good range. Is this a good strategy for OMAD? Yeah, I love that you're testing your glucose and ketones and they're in a good range. So if it's working for you, keep doing it. However, I wouldn't recommend OMAD every single day. So I would maybe, and it also depends on how much extra body fat you have, but mix it up. Have a few days where you're not doing OMAD, you're doing shorter fast. It's important not to stay stuck with the same routine because again, you wouldn't go to the gym and do the same workout over and over. And if you did, you stop getting results. Sharon says, adding fresh lemon juice to morning water, does it break a fast? Sharon, it does break a fast because it will give you a glucose response. There is benefits to having the fresh lemon. I would recommend for best results to have the fresh lemon juice with water right before your meals, like 30 to 60 minutes before you're about to break your fast. That has a benefit of stimulating bile to help break down the fat of that meal too, by the way. Is Biosense a good substitute for testing? I love Biosense. They do a great job at, it's a breath ketone meter, looking at acetone in a breath. So there's 3 ways to test ketones. You have urine, which is looking at acetoacetate. You have breath looking at acetone, and then you have blood looking at beta hydroxybutyrate. If you're using urine strips, I have news for you. Urine ketone strips are not accurate. They are going to lead you to a path of frustration. Now, the first few days, they could be good, but once your body gets really efficient at using and metabolizing ketones, which is what we want, by the way, then the ketones will not spill out in the urine. So you could be in ketosis, but if you're testing your your ketones with the urine strips, it's not going to turn any colors. You're going to be frustrated. So let's throw out the urine strips. Biosense makes an accurate breath ketone meter. I love Biosense. I have a coupon code for you to get their meter, $20 off. The coupon code is KetoCamp. I think the website is mybiosense.com. And then you have Keto Mojo, who looks at blood ketone. So that's good as well. The benefit of Biosense is that you don't have to prick your fingers. The drawback, you can't get the glucose. The benefit of Keto Mojo is that you get glucose and ketones. The drawback is you have to keep purchasing strips and you have to keep pricking your fingers. Ben, you are freaking rocking, brother. Thanks for the help to us and tired of being lied to by the FDA. Thank you, George. I'm tired of being lied to as well. You cannot drug yourself to perfect health. Let me ask you, I had an idea today. Somebody on Instagram, I forget your name, said I should make a t-shirt out of that. And then I was earlier this morning. Let me know if you would like this t-shirt. On the front of the shirt, it will say, "You cannot drug yourself to perfect health." On the back of the shirt, it will have a line that says drugs, a line that says shots, a line that says medication with the words with a line crossed through it, and then a line behind it with a check mark saying innate intelligence. Would you think that would be a cool shirt to develop for the keto campers? Let me know if you would want that shirt. Just type in t-shirt if that's something you would like to get. So it would say, "You cannot drug yourself to perfect health" on the front, and then it'll have an empowering message on the back. So if that's something you would like to get, we might create it here for Keto Camp. Erica, who's in the academy, says, "I'm down 13 pounds since January 20th within 16-8 schedule. Just switch to OMAD to mix it up. We'll follow your OMAD advice." Erica, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Keep up the amazing work. I do have t-shirts. Yeah, if you go to ketocampgear.com, it goes to the shirts that I currently have. Hey, Daniel, good to see you, brother. Wendy, good to see you. I'm grateful to be your coach. Thank you so much. What about a vegan diet? Whole foods, plant-based, no processed foods, says Franks. I think every diet works, just not long-term. I love keto, just not long-term. I love the vegan approach, just not long-term. So sprinkling in a 30 to 60-day vegan and plant-based approach with intermittent fasting could be great. But going longer than that, you could see a detrimental effect. Yeah, the USDA guidelines. I mean, here's a principle that I share when I'm speaking on stages. I always say, hey, when you look at what the government promotes when it comes to your health, when you look at what mainstream media promotes when it comes to your health, do the exact opposite of 180, and you're going to be down the right path. You're going to be healthier as a result. Dr. Jason Fung talked about George Costanza. How many of you watched Seinfeld back in the day? Are you a Seinfeld fan like me? If you are, type in Seinfeld. There was an episode. So Seinfeld was a popular sitcom in the 90s. There was an episode where George Costanza, one of the characters, he was getting crappy results in his life. He was frustrated. He was broke. He was miserable, unhappy, unhealthy. So on this episode, he decided to do everything opposite of what he had been doing up until that point. So for example, he would walk up to a girl in the restaurant and say, "Hey, I'm George Costanza. I'm broke. I live with my parents. I'm bald. Nice to meet you." And she'd say, "Hey, come sit next to me. Let's have a conversation." So everything in his life started to improve the second he started to do everything opposite of what he had been doing up until that point. So that's called the George Costanza effect. I wrote about it in my book, Keto Flex. Whatever the mainstream promotes, do the exact opposite, because when you follow the masses, get this, when you follow the masses, usually the M is silent. I hope you get that reference. Deborah loves Seinfeld. Edna loves Seinfeld. George loves Seinfeld. Corey loves Seinfeld. Yeah, Seinfeld's a great show. Wendy does as well. So, all right, we have over 100 of you right here on YouTube live with me. Thank you so much. I'm going to answer a few more questions. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button here on YouTube, please do so. Please make sure you're also subscribed to the channel if you haven't done so already. And share this video on your Facebook. Share it with your friend. Text it to somebody. We need to get the message out there so the world could understand how incredible their body is. As long as we follow those 3 rules. Number 1, remove interference. Number 1, identify interference. Number 2, remove interference. Number 3, allow your amazing body to heal. Best time to get an MCT oil, ask Cordy. It's going to be, if you want to accelerate ketone production, you can have it during a fast. Especially C8 caprylic acid has been shown to double, sometimes quadruple ketone production. So you can have it with your coffee or with your tea. Michelle says, "You're so freaking smart." Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. Whatever you see in me, it's a reflection of you. So you're smart too. You always get my thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, American Diabetes Association, they are on a journey to keep type 2 diabetics sick on meds. I lost my dad due to the complications of type 2 diabetes. So that's near and dear to my heart. What if I told you this? What if I told you that the same diet that the American Diabetes Association website promotes is the same diet that will lead to type 2 diabetes? What if I told you the same food fed to cancer patients in the hospital getting chemotherapy is the same food that leads to the growth of cancer? Do we have it wrong? Yes. I shouldn't say that. Does the mainstream have it wrong? Yes. Do we have it wrong? No. We're down the right path. We're following ancient healing strategies. So we can't put our health into the hands of other people. We need to be empowered. We need to take ownership. We need to be responsible. Responsibility is the most important thing for all of us right now. That word responsibility was huge for me. When I was obese, I was not taking responsibility. I was playing the victim. I was blaming everyone and everything for my problems, my genetics, my enabling family members, my slow metabolism. But then I started to take ownership. And responsibility is your ability to respond to life. So back in 2008, when I lost 80 pounds, it started with taking responsibility. I said, I am responsible. The minute that I said that, I no longer was the victim of my history, and instantly I became the victor of my destiny. So what I want all of you to do with me right now, whether you're watching this live or watching a replay, type in the words down below in the chat box, I am responsible. Only 3% of the population take ownership. Only 3% of the population actually think for themselves. Bob Proctor said 2% of the population think. So actually it's 2%. He said 2% of the population think, 3% of the population think they think, and 95% of the population would rather die than think. Here's the truth. When you have friends and family and coworkers telling you keto is crazy, fasting is crazy, you're going to damage your metabolism, they don't know what you know. They haven't looked at the research like us. Don't let their words penetrate you. Because if you want to be free, you got to be you. If I want to be free, I got to be me. Not the me my mom thinks I should be, not the me my girlfriend thinks I should be. If I want to be me, if I want to be free, I got to be me. So it's so important not to have that, not to let other people determine your worth, not to let other people determine your value, and not to live a life of what others expected of you. That's the number one regret of the dying. I see Cordy, Bose, Charlotte, Edna, Michelle, Shannon, James, and Mark taking responsibility. I love it. Y'all are the 3%ers. I see Karen taking responsibility, the Energizer, Sherry, Franks. I love it. I love it. That's where it all starts. It's impossible to say I am responsible and take ownership and still be resentful and still be frustrated. I mean, just the fact that you're alive with me right now, it's a 400 to 1 trillion shot just to be alive, for the sperm to get to the egg, for you to be born. And then if you are alive, like you are right now, that's a blessing in itself. Because 150,000 people die every single day. I share this on my webinars. Yesterday, 150,000 people struggled for their last breath and they lost that battle. Today, 150,000 people will fight that same battle and they'll lose. So if you're alive, put your hand on your heart, breathe. That is something to be grateful for. Gratitude is a superpower. Whatever we think about, we bring about. So I encourage you to use gratitude, to use love in combination with these strategies. I know we're getting to different topics here, but you can't exercise before you innercise. Keto and fasting and exercise, that's exercising in a sense, the way that I'm using it here. Mindset, controlling your thoughts, practicing self-love and gratitude, that's innercising. You got to innercise before you exercise. I really hope that resonates with you. Cameron says, I reversed my type 2 diabetes because I wanted to live to care for my wife and my daughters. I sacrificed a ton and would not take it back for anything. Cameron, that is amazing. You are responsible. I acknowledge you for taking ownership. That is amazing. And you make a good point there, because I'm going to share something with you real quick. I had a friend. His name was Mike. And he was married. He had 2 kids. And they had a family tradition, Mike did. Every time it was his birthday. So when Mike turned 33 years old, he would have 33 blank pieces of note cards where he would write 33 wishes. When he turned 37 years old, he had 37 blank cards for 37 wishes. Now, he was turning 40 years old, but something happened right before his birthday. He got diagnosed with cancer. So on his 40th birthday, instead of having 40 blank cards with 40 wishes, he had 1 blank card with 1 wish. And that was just a wish for health. You see, the person who's healthy has many wishes. The person who's unhealthy has 1 wish, and that's to be healthy. And if you get sick, if you are unhealthy, like I was, it is the most selfish thing you can do. Because not only are you suffering, but your family suffers, your relationships suffer, the world suffers. Because how could anybody get your truest version of yourself, your greatest version of yourself, if you don't have the energy, if you don't have the health, if you don't have the vitality? You can have all the money in the world. I think it's great to earn money and be financially free. But if you go on a month-long trip with your family because you bought out this vacation trip, but you're hurting all the time, you're complaining, you got to go back to the hotel and take a nap, what is that about? We want to make sure we're getting healthy. And everything we teach here at Keto Camp is health at the cellular level. I gave you 3 amazing tips on this live stream today, how to apply fasting to activate the innate intelligence so your body could heal. Your body is capable of healing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We live in a world with mainstream media telling you that you need a pill, you need a medication, you need a shot to be healthy. But guess what? You don't need any of that. You just need to remove interference and allow your body to do its job. Judy, you sure are getting healthy to lose weight. You sure are. Reversing insulin resistance can take years. It's correct. It is absolutely correct. I love you, Support. Thank you. You're amazing too. A few things. Next month, March 2021, I'm going to be speaking at 2 conferences. Number 1, I'm going to be speaking at Dr. Pompa. So that's my mentor, Dr. Pompa. He is hosting a conference called Live It to Lead It in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm going to be there in person speaking about ketosis, speaking about YouTube. And then they're also live streaming that. That is invite only. So I believe that's going to be one of the greatest conferences you could watch this year with amazing speakers. So if you want an invite for the live stream ticket for that, you got to email me, support@ketocamp.com, because invite only. I'd love for you to join. That's March, I think it's the 10th and 11th. So if you want to learn more about the Live It to Lead It seminar, invite only, email me, support@ketocamp.com. And then a week after that, I'm going to be speaking, by the way, at that same conference. Not only is Dr. Pompa speaking, but also Dr. Mindy Peltz, Dr. John Lawrence. Amazing speakers will be there. Kelly Kennedy talking about the lymphatic system. So if you want to invite to that, support@ketocamp.com. I'll give you a link to purchase your live stream ticket. A week after, I'm flying to Silicon Valley, California. Any of you in Silicon Valley or San Francisco area, Bay Area, I'm going to be speaking at the Biohacking Congress with Dave Asprey, Dr. Mindy Peltz, Thomas DeLauer, Seamland, and a few other amazing speakers. I'm going to be talking about 5 keto biohacks you've never heard before. That one, you could buy a live stream ticket or in-person ticket right now. It's biohackingcongress.com. Alina, if you could put that in the chat box, biohackingcongress.com. I have a coupon for you to get 50% off your ticket to that one. That's Keto Camp at checkout for 50% off, biohackingcongress.com. The study I mentioned earlier, by the way, at MIT research, I put in the notes of this video. Anything I can do about arthritic pain, says Rick. Yeah, carnivore could be something that could help. Fixing the gut, doing some heavy metals detox could really help with arthritic pain. What flares up arthritis I've seen are plant toxins, anti-nutrients, nightshades especially. So doing carnivore for 30 to 60 days could really improve arthritic pain. None of this will substitute for medical advice, but I'm just telling you what I've seen out there working with thousands of clients over the years. Just a reminder that my webinar, the Mastering Keto webinar, is taking place next very soon. And you could get signed up for that. This is free by going to the banner down below, ketosismasterclass.com, ketosismasterclass.com. I see it. Sylvia's responsible. Erica, Effie, I love it. Chantel's responsible. Jolie, good to see you. I love that you do yoga and teach yoga. Sharon's in the Bay Area. Sharon, I'd love to see you at the conference, Silicon Valley. It's going to be great. I'm flying up there with my girlfriend, Natasia. Go check out my girlfriend, Natasia's YouTube channel. She's got a great YouTube channel about fashion, self-empowerment, and just, it's a fun channel. She's so funny. So Natasia Coelho, Natassia, and then her last name is Coelho, Coelho, on YouTube. Keto helps too. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in my knee and to get knee injections a few years ago, and it was completely gone. That's awesome, Edna. That's so awesome. Congratulations on that. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be live with you again next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm super grateful you joined me. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. And share this video on your social media. Text it to a friend. This is the message that the world needs to hear and heal. So thank you so much. Love you, Keto Campers. Talk to you very soon. Hopefully I'll see you on the masterclass taking place next